Welcome back everyone to the channel. So today's video we're going to be talking about the weird quirks and features of the CLA 45 AMG 2020. Before we begin today's video, I do want to give a quick shout out to the sponsor of today's video, which is Shine Armor. Shine Armor is a company that produces car cleaning products. They have a product called the Anti-Fog Hero, which I have today, and this helps reduce the fog and condensation on the window and the windshield, especially during winter months. And I've been using it on my car and I love it and it helps a lot. But anyways, let's begin today's video. So I think one of the first quirks or feature that we could go over is how to lower the rear seats in this car. So as you know, you can split the seats to increase the trunk space so you can fit in longer things. But in this car, you don't do that from the back seat like Audis. Instead, you pull a lever right there and that will release the lock on the seat, and then you can push the seat back, and then once you want to put it back up, you can push the seat back up again. The weird thing about this is that you can't do that from the inside. So all you have to do is just pull the lever, it will unlock the seat, you come back to the rear area, and then you push down the seat and the seat will come down. Now if you just want to put it back up and lock it, you just slam it, and now that seat will not be coming down. I just think it's annoying that you have to go in the back of the trunk to pull that down. Meanwhile, in other cars, there's a button and it's just much more convenient to do it from the inside. So one of the other weird features on this car that I think is more of a quirk rather than a feature, because I'm not sure what the actual purpose is, it has to do with the daytime running lights. So you can manually turn on the DRLs by turning the switch over here, which shows that the DRLs are turning on. And then of course you get the annoying Mercedes beep. If you are to switch it to the P that's pointing right and left, and we were to go outside and look at the DRLs, you'll notice that only one DRL is on. So you see that the left DRL is on, but if we look over to the right one is off. Let's back up, and you can see that only one DRL, which is the one pointing to the left, is on. And it's just like, why? Because maybe it's for parking, like indicating that you're parking, but it just it makes no sense to me, because it doesn't hurt to have both on if you're trying to show that, you know, you're parking and you're, you know, a little off in the lane to the left, so you have the DRL on, because DRLs don't use and consume much power. So it makes no sense to me why that even is a feature. Maybe someone in the comments can tell me, but I think that's a quirk in itself, because you might as well just have both DRLs on. It makes really no difference at all. So the other quirk about this car is actually when you step in and close the door before you're about to start the car, there's a boot animation on the screen, and something is weird about the one in the CLA 45. So we're gonna hop in and I'll show you guys exactly what I mean. You get this boot animation. So if you were to start the car, you'll see, oh, right there, that the boot animation shows up on the screen, but it's not for the CLA 45. It's actually for the A45, A45S, because you can see by the headlights that is actually the A45 and not the CLA 45, because the CLA 45 has an extra DRL right there. Personally, I think it's just weird that they didn't bother coding a CLA 45 boot animation, instead left the A45, which doesn't match with this car. So the other cool thing about this car that is a really cool feature, and I think is a little gimmicky, but in my opinion looks really cool when you actually see it being utilized. So when you're looking at the climate control and you want to switch it from, you know, if you want to go to a higher temperature or if you want to go to a colder temperature, the LEDs and the fans actually change corresponding to what you're doing. So if we're going to switch up to the heat, you can see that the LEDs in the fan vents actually turn red. And then if you were to go down, it turns blue. Right now it's set on purple, but obviously it turns blue, and then it sets back to its normal color corresponding to what you had before. I think that's really cool. You know, you can tell instantly that you're turning to a higher temperature, and that's for all fans in the car other than the ones in the rear. I think that's a cool feature that they added. Yeah, it's a little gimmicky, but it shows the attention to detail that they added to this car. Of course, other than the boot animation, missing that was kind of weird, but adding this I think is a welcomed feature, because you can see exactly what kind of temperature you're adjusting. I know people are going to be like, oh, just look at the number, it's so easy, but I don't know, I think it's a cool feature to this car. So another small weird feature about this car is actually has to do with the wireless charging. So I noticed when you put your phone down here, there's this weird like thing that you can pull out. It's like an arm, and it goes out like that. And I'm not 100% sure what the purpose for that is, but I'm thinking that maybe it holds your phone in so it doesn't flop around. But there's so much space and clearance between the actual arm and where your phone sits. Let me show you, for example, if I put my phone down here, it doesn't really hold the phone down. The phone can still slide around, and it kind of defeats the purpose of that. So I don't know if someone in the comments can tell me what exactly that does. I'm not 100% sure. I'm guessing it's to hold your phone down, but it doesn't really do a good job, so it's kind of a useless quirk. So another weird feature on this car is the headrest. So the headrest in the front and back, depending if you have the performance seats or the normal seats like I do in this car, there's actually LEDs in the headrest. So corresponding to the LED layout that you have on the car, it will actually show the LEDs in the headrest. And I think that's such a weird feature, but it looks cool. Like when someone steps in your car and sees the LEDs in the headrest, they're like, whoa, I've never seen that before. And I personally have not seen this before in any other car. I'm sure it's been executed in other cars, but I think it looks really cool, and it just gives it a little bit more of a vibe in here, especially with the new interior LED lighting in this car. Like I said, if you have the performance seats, obviously you don't get the headrest lighting like in the back, but the backs do stay lit up even if you do get the performance seats. So obviously right now it's a little too bright to be able to see the LEDs in the headrest, but I'm going to play a clip when it's a little bit dark out so you guys can see exactly what it looks like, and we're going to play that right now. So that pretty much wraps it up for today's video. I hope you enjoyed the quirks and features of the CLA 45. Some you might have known, some you might have not known. As you notice, there really isn't too many on this car, but there is enough to make you question, why didn't Mercedes add that, or why didn't Mercedes add that onto this car? If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, as there's more videos on the CLA 45 AMG and many other cars coming very soon. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video.